Welcome back to the Magic of Strategy. I am your host, Karen Hewitt. I'm CEO of Blossom to Success Incorporated and your go to social media strategist. This is the podcast where we strip away the guesswork and show you how to build a business with confidence, clarity, and of course, strategy. Now, let's be real. Most small business owners, network marketers, speakers, we start off with a solid strategy. Instead, we hit the ground running, taking whatever opportunities come our way and figure it out as we go. That sounds familiar? Well, here's the hard truth. Winging it is not a strategy. And today we're going to talk about shifting your mindset from just getting by to thinking like a CEO. Because when you make that shift, everything, and I mean everything in your business changes. You stop reacting and you start leading. So grab that notebook. Let's be real, your notes app, and let's talk about how to develop a strategy mindset that will take your business to the next level. All right, so we're going to start by breaking it down. What do I mean by a strategy mindset? A strategy mindset means you stop working in your business and start working on your business. Let me repeat that. You're going to stop working in your business and work on your business. It's about thinking ahead, making intentional decisions, and knowing your next move before you even need to make it. Here's what typically happens with entrepreneurs, network marketers, and small business owners. And I know I've done it. I've been there. I get it. I was there for so long. You spend so much time putting out fires that you do not have time to plan ahead. You get stuck in those day-to-day tasks. You're responding to messages, fulfilling orders, creating content, and you don't step back to see the bigger picture. And you say yes to everything because you do not have clear goals. But CEOs don't operate like that. They have vision, plan, and they don't waste time on things that don't align with their goals. So I want you to ask yourself a question. And I'll pause after this question because I want you to really let it sink in. Am I busy or am I actually building a business? If that hit a little too close to home, don't worry, you're in the right place. Because today we are going to shift that mindset together. In fact, I have it on my own desktop. I'm just going to look over here and read it. I have a focus list. This is something that I have for myself mentally because I am introverted, I'm empath, all these kind of things. One, I have 4 items that I ask myself every day. Is this treating people well? Because that's important to me. Does this task equal success? And then, am I building or busy? And I also have a little something about taking care of me as well. But it is so important that I put it on my screensaver every single day. But here's the thing. How do we actually start thinking like a CEO instead of an overwhelmed business owner? I'm going to give you 5 key shifts that you need to make. 1, the big picture thinking. You need to stop making decisions for just for today. Ask yourself, where do I want my business to be in 6 months, a year? Will this decision move me closer to my long-term vision? 2, you've got to make confident decisions. CEOs don't overthink everything. They make decisions based on data and experience, not emotions. If you're stuck in analysis paralysis, set a time limit for those decisions. And I want you to use data, not just gut feelings. Your gut can give you a lot of direction, but when you're talking about growing your business, look at the data, look if you're supported, look, seeing what's going on. And if you're not tracking what's working in your business, you're just guessing. So, for example, network marketer, which posts are actually bringing leads? Small business owners, what products are your best sellers? Speakers, what topic is getting the most engagement? Use that data that you have to make smarter moves. I want you to think proactive rather than reactive thinking. Most small business owners are constantly reacting. Client issues, algorithm changes, last minute launches. CEOs, we anticipate challenges and we plan ahead. What's your plan B if something doesn't go as expected? Do you have a plan B in space? Now, a plan B, I want to make this clear as well, because a plan B isn't like, well, if this all fails, I'm going to do this instead. A plan B is, well, if this project doesn't work, this is the data I'm going to analyze, and this is how I'm going to make the changes. It's not just I'm throwing 10 pieces of spaghetti at the wall and seeing which ones stick. And I want you to surround yourself with strategy-focused people. If you're always with people who are going with the flow, it's easy to get stuck. Find yourself a mentor, join a mastermind, surround yourself with people who challenge you to think bigger. You cannot scale a business with a small mindset. So ask yourself, am I playing small or am I thinking like a CEO? All right. Now, so you know what a strategy mindset looks like. We're going to put it into action. I want you to put these things as 5 things that you can do that start right now, today, that help you start thinking like a CEO. One, you're going to set aside CEO time. You're going to pick a time every single week to step back and work on your business. Review progress, set goals, adjust your strategy. This is about looking at data, looking at information, looking at growth. Are you connected for analytics? If your business is on social media, I strongly encourage use of Metrical, and I'll put a link in the show notes for you because you can get one brand for free for so many posts. But they will quite literally tell you what posts are performing, where your demographics are. It gives you your breakdown over all your platforms. And then their plans are one of the best prices you can get across the board. I want you to set quarterly business goals. We're not just going, well, in 2025, but no, you're going to set priority. You're going to set goals for a quarter. And you're going to set priorities for your next 90 days. I want you to pick 3 of them. Get specific. We're not doing vague goaling. We're not vague booking it. We're going to get clarity because that is key. You're going to track your numbers. I want you to pick 2 or 3 metrics to track every week. Is it engagement, sales, leads? What is it that's driving your business? Track it. Where your attention goes, the money flows. 4, you're going to create a decision framework. When you're stuck on a decision, I want you to ask, does this align with my vision? Will this move my business forward? And is it worth my time? And 5, say no to distractions. If an opportunity does not fit your strategy, say no. Stay focused on what actually matters. Just as a personal note, I know this number 5 was one of my hardest that I had to learn. When I first started as a small business owner, I think I opened up like 50 businesses because I was trying to be everything to everyone, and it just did not fit my strategy, and it left me overwhelmed, and it didn't move me forward. Because every time someone else offered me a chance to do something, I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. And it just drove me further and further down. So pick something and stick with it. And now I'm going to talk about some real world case strategy, because I think this is where I'm giving you all this list and you're like, but I don't get it. I don't understand it and why it'll actually help. I had an amazing client. They're good friends for me now because we work their business and they're thriving and they're expanding. And we see each other more as peers rather than the mentor client relationship that we had, the coach client relationship we had for a while. And they really used to struggle because they were constantly overwhelmed. They felt like they were getting up at like 5 a.m. and they weren't going to bed till 1 o'clock. They were stressed. They were losing sleep. They weren't eating. Their health was under fire. It was just everything because they were quite literally trying to take on everything in their business to hope for results. If someone said to them, oh, have you tried this way of recruiting? They were in network marketing, okay? They still are, but they're top of the company now. And they would be like, oh, well, this is supposed to work for recruits. So then they'd make 20 posts about recruiting that, and none of them were hit because none of them aligned with who they were. Then they'd get frustrated and say, well, now I need to try this, and now I need to try this, and this isn't working, so I need to try this, and I need to try. And they were trying a different system. I would say probably every 5 to 7 days, it was constantly evolving. So one of the first things we did, we sat down and we got very clear on their vision. We got clear on how much time they wanted to input into the business, how they wanted to work the business, what kind of content they enjoyed making, what kind of leadership training they enjoyed doing, what they needed to, parcel out to somebody else, what systems go. And now one of the last conversations we had were, well, how can AI take some more off their plate? It was quite cool. We set some really strategic goals and we tracked their progress. And guess what? Everything changed because we got crystal clear on what it was that was important to them and how they would do it. So here's the thing. This isn't magic. I know it's saying the magic of strategy. It's not magic. It's strategy. And if they can do it, guess what? You can too. Now, all right, my loves, that's a wrap on today's episode of The Magic of Strategy. And if this episode resonated with you, I want you to take action today. No excuses. Don't be, oh, I'll do it tomorrow when I get, no. Set aside 30 minutes to plan out your next 90 days. Start small, but start strategically. And if you loved this episode, hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share it with a business bestie who needs to hear it. And don't forget to connect with me on social medias at Blossom to Success for more strategy tips and resources. Next time, we're going to talk about the strategy roadmap and we're going to craft a business plan that works, and you don't want to miss it. So until then, keep strategizing and stay magical, my loves.